Good afternoon, everyone. I know you're not used to seeing me at this time of day, but I just wanted to show you something, and I thought it might be kind of interesting to kind of go through these notes from time to time over the next year and talk about what was going on a year ago today. These are the notes for the market forecast and then any market recaps that I've done since we started working from home, since about the beginning of the pandemic, which is well over a year old now. I've just been kind of stacking them up and keeping them because just to kind of see what it was like, and we're going to be able to go through over time and see what was going on a year ago today. I didn't even introduce myself, or this isn't like a segment that we planned on doing. I just thought it would be kind of neat. I got all these notes. It's a whole year in trading and news for the entire year since the beginning of our kind of work from home. So today is still March 24th. So I've got my notes from last March 24th. This is, yes, it is actual paper. Yeah, hey JD, good to see you. Yes, I do it all on actual paper. I've got, I don't know, 7 empty pens and this big stack of paper to think about the work that we did for the last year. So these are my notes for the market forecast for 1 year ago today, Tuesday, March 24th. Redbook, PMI, and new home sales came out that day. As always, we're thinking about context and risk management. The news that I have from that day is the economic support was still kind of in limbo. Although there was much promise of stimulus being close. Yesterday was when we put in the low of the downside move caused by the pandemic. Save the forest. You're right. I should probably start doing this digitally, but for some reason, I just can't get rid of the old pencil and paper or pen and paper. So along with that news was with the impact from the Fed's kind of backdrop announced. That's the U.S. futures sharply higher off that low, the all time that low of the pandemic move, which was the low of it was yesterday a year ago. So still a positive after a bad PMI in new home sales, which had not come out yet. Will the market look through them? Crude prices were firming, I guess, as U.S. Energy Secretary hinted at a further deal to stabilize prices. Now, if you remember, we're in the May contract now. The May expiration last year, crude oil traded down to almost negative $40 a barrel. So kind of just looking at what my notes were for looking at the charts. We were looking at possible bottoming in U.S. Saudi possible agreement. So weekly kickoff low I was suggesting was support for that day, and that weekly kickoff low was $20.50. Settlement in crude oil a year ago, yesterday would be yesterday's settlement, was 23.36. We are almost 3 times that now. We had added 10,000 in open interest on the day before. The E-mini S&Ps had traded 35% off their all-time high as of yesterday. Hope from the Fed helping was kind of where we put in that bottom, and we started to get the move back to the upside. Always talking about headline risks being present. We were looking at on the 30-minute chart, huge longs in short time frame trading, and we were going to be opening with a gap. That was the end. That was right after expiration, and we had lost 1.1 million in open interest. But a lot of that was just because they were expiring. We had added 44,000 in open interest in June at the bottom the day before. The euro Volume and open interest were steady. It wasn't that big a deal, I don't think, in the euro, but settlement price was 10771. And I don't have the NASDAQ here for some reason. It's got to be here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. These are not necessarily in order. Actually, I don't even think we were doing the NASDAQ at that time. We got the Japanese yen here. So 90.17 was settlement price for the Japanese yen. So yep, 1 year ago today, we had put in the bottom. We were on our way back up. Recovery stimulus coming from the government, but of course, it took them a little bit of time. And I'm going to be out for the next couple of days, so we'll look at Monday's date here. I'll find that here somewhere. Maybe we'll talk. Well, maybe we'll do this again on Monday. If this is interesting to you, let me know, and we'll make a habit out of it. I don't really figure we should do this every day. We'll keep track of some of the more interesting days. But anyway, that was 1 year ago today in the markets. I'm John Hoagland. Have a good lunch. Have a good rest of the trading day. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you back on Monday. Trade well, everyone.